After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands. Revelation 7:9. 7th chapter, 9th verse. Revelation is the last book of Bible. This is Yulia Demina and the channel English for Impact, where adult professional learners master English not for tests, but for real life impact. And today, we are going to see what Coca-Cola and Bible have in common and how you can master the same storytelling structure and principles that will help you to sell yourself and your brand, your product, whatever you personally or your company does in a powerful way. Especially, I recommend this to watch if you think that this has nothing to do with me, because that's for big dreamers, but I'm doing something blah blah blah, something mundane, something very normal that doesn't evoke this kind of grandiose imagery. People like you will benefit from this video, because it will show you how you can make something big out of something mundane. Because Coca-Cola is just a beverage. And everything looks normal afterwards, after it has been accepted by people. But when you're just starting out, it takes courage to recognize the grandiose in something everyday, something simple, such as a Coca-Cola bottle. Alright, why I have chosen Bible to teach you storytelling? Because I'm a religious person? Not really. I don't go to church, nor am I an atheist. I am an agnostic. But the Bible has one thing, at least one thing, that no one can take away, even atheists. It has proven to captivate people's minds for 2000 plus years. CMOs, chief marketing officers, dream to captivate your mind for 10 seconds. 50 years of achievement, 50 years of penetration into public memory, the way Coca-Cola did it is amazing.
Wow.
Yet, the churches all over the world keep chanting the same meanings over and over again, and Christians all over the world are united with high retention, with high LTV, by the stories told for centuries. This is amazing. That's the first reason. It has stood the test of time. The second reason is that, the second reason is also the cause of the first reason. It's universally accessible, and that's why it's so wildly popular, right? Because when you want to present yourself, what you do, you want to appear smart, intellectual, you say something that's hard to grasp, and as a result, boom, no one gets it.
Oh no.
Bible uses imagery and chants and emotional appeals accessible to everyone, and that's why it is so widely successful. Without any further ado, let's see what we have in store. First, we're going to find the parallels between this massively successful ad that has stayed in top 20 on billboards, that has been recognized as one of the top 100 ads of the 20th century. We'll see its clear parallels with the biblical verse, Revelation chapter 7, verse 9, and then I will give you a step-by-step recipe, a guide that you can use no matter what your startup is about, no matter what your services are about, whether you're a driver or an AI founder. You can use it to start describing what you do in a way that captivates people's minds, that sticks with them, and that they can keep thinking about. If they keep thinking about the story you're telling, they also keep thinking about you. Alright, let's give tribute first to the creator of the ad, the creative director, who unfortunately passed away 9 years ago. His name is Bill Becker. I'm double checking. Yeah, he passed away in 2016. That's 9 years ago, right? I'm shooting this in 2025 for the record. Yeah, he's an American guy. He had experience in musicals. In fact, he wrote music and lyrics for another musical favorite at that time. I don't remember the name because I haven't watched it, but if you know, please type in comments. I want to memorize it. He kept this talent and made a good use of it, tap into it later on as he was working for Coca-Cola. You'll see that music plays one of the key elements in this commercial, but not the first one. Not the first one. So you don't have to be a musician and start singing at job interviews. Don't worry about that. Yeah, now that you know who created it and that it's not only a good story, but a story that leads to massive sales, we can dive into the actual deconstruction and finding the parallels. Oh, sorry. One more thing you need to know. I'm not claiming that Bill Bucker was inspired by this biblical verse as he was creating the thing. In fact, as I was reading the Wikipedia page, it said the opposite. He was inspired by a group of people chatting at the airport, a diverse crowd drinking Coca-Cola, waiting for a long and exhausting unplanned layover to end. The thing is that guys, as Bill Becker, they don't need this exoskeleton scaffolding to help them move forward, because they already have it in their blind. But people like us who are just learning to talk about ourselves, we find great escape and hope and relief in turning to stories, parables, fables, biblical verses that can provide this external scaffolding to keep us going. So now I will show you how. There will be three elements in parallels between the Coca-Cola commercial that we're dissecting and the biblical verse. First, we start with the meaning, the semantic field, the theme. Only after the theme, the second two streams follow. It's visuals and auditory. When we jump into the themes, usually the stories, the super simple stories that stick, they fall into two categories. The first one is that of conflict, struggle, heroic journey with obstacles that you overcome. These are the stories that are fraught with conflict. They are packed with action. The second category is the opposite one. It's like a lullaby. It's the kind of stories that soothe you, that calm you down. They have a meditation-like effect. And these are the stories that revolve around such topics as unconditional love, unity, harmony. And that's precisely it. Revelation 7:9 paints the picture of diverse crowd, people all over the world, united in the heaven, in front of God and the Lamb, Jesus Christ, ready to enter the gates of the paradise. Just imagine, people all over the world, probably they were fighting when they were alive. Maybe their relatives killed each other. Think about history 2000 years ago. It was not also an easy time to be alive in. Nevertheless, here they are on a peaceful piece of land, carefree and united. That's about unification of diversity that is bigger than all of the conflicts that those people faced. Gives you a soothing feeling. That's the theme. That's the theme. Now we take visuals out of the theme. Instead of explaining it, it's so much powerful to show it. No commercial can be like this video when there is someone who sits in front of the camera and explains things na 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 na. No, they never sell to directly. There is just a motto at the end, like it's better with Coke or the real thing. The slogans that the creative director came up with, which stood also the test of time because of the simplicity. Coke, the real thing, not even the real drink, not even a great beverage, the real thing. It's so vague, and in its vagueness, it unites so much, paints this picture of something larger than life. But I'm digressing. Let's go back. Once you know the theme in your mind, you need to find the visuals, the objects that will portray this theme. And in the biblical verse, these objects are the white color that the diverse crowd wears. They're all in white robes in front of the Lamb, and the palms that they hold in their hands that symbolize peace. Looking back at the commercial, we see a diverse crowd on the top of the hill, united in front of something bigger. I want to buy the world Coke. It's about the whole world. There is also the unifying color. The color of the brand is red. Starting from the first shot, you see the blush on the cheekbones of the actress. Later on, you will see this red hue all over the video. So there is this unifying color and there is this unifying object. It's a Coca-Cola bottle that appears in everybody's hand. It's not introduced at the first shot. The first shot is there to captivate you. It's not about Coca-Cola right up front. It's about a dream, it's about the mood, and later on you'll see this object that is a necessary element of the mood, the Coca-Cola bottle in everybody's hand. The last thing about the visuals is the camera move. It starts up close with the front shot, and then we see the helicopter view, we see the whole mountain top, we see how big it is. And when you are reading the biblical verse, you also have this feeling that it's something super, something super big, something larger than you. And here in the video, you achieve it through the move of the camera. Finally, the auditory theme, the auditory parallel. If you at least once have been to church, that it's not just about talking, preaching. It's about singing, chanting, and this is how you get ideas stuck in the minds. It's like, it's like a little bit of a cult thing, like a lullaby thing, when people regress into childhood and they are being lulled by this father figure, priest, singing. The song makes it more powerful, but it's not just about the song. Now we are already moving into the recipe, the steps that you need to take to make your brand, yourself, your vision larger than life. Really get the courage to say like, yeah, it's us. That's what we stand for. All right, so here how you do it. First, you take the tales which have stood the test of time. It can be Bible, it can be Torah, it can be Quran. Or it doesn't even have to be a religious book. It could be a book of fables. It could be, it could be fairy tales.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be fairy tales. But be careful and study the fairy tales that people in your market, that they read in childhood. Because Russians, Germans, Americans, Vietnamese, we all read very different fairy tales. It's our first propaganda. It's our first exposure to the values that are translated in our culture bubble. And to penetrate the minds of people in a certain region, it's very helpful to read the fairy tales. Cool. So step one, you select this book that has stood the test of time and that propagandizes certain values in a very simple language accessible to anyone. Then you relax, you take a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, you find a comfortable spot on your couch and you start reading. And you will hate many of these tales. You'll think they are not about me, they do not resonate with me, they have nothing to do with me. And so you keep turning the pages over until you land on something that strikes a chord with you and that resonates. And you think, aha, that's it.
Wow.
I actually like this kind of message. And you name this message very, very simply. 1 or 2 words, maximum 1 sentence, what it is about. Like in this case, it's about unity and harmony and about removing all barriers.
Wow.
Imagine America in the 70s and the 60s. A bipartisan country divided by Republicans and Democrats, divided by racial conflicts. In this kind of environment, you see people united and singing a song of harmony of Coca-Cola. It gives you respite. You feel relaxed after all this news, Fox News, hearing the news about all these conflicts. You're like, okay, finally, there's a hope for unification. You find in these stories that you're reading, fairy tales, something that you like. And it's like, okay, it's about me, it's about what I do. And here you already need to start being brave, not dismissing yourself. Imagine you are, I don't know, a driver. Just drive every day. Just drive. This big imagery is not for me. This symbolism is different for every driver. For some people, okay, I stand for reliability, that people with me, they're not going to face an accident because I'm a safe driver. For some people it's speed, for some people it's something else. All drivers, they have different values, right? At least some of them. So you find one that you stand for, that resonates with you and that reflects the product or services that you provide, no matter whether you are an AI founder or an employee. First, you just write it down and you start looking at it, processing, and really finding the courage to believe it. And this is going to be your central idea, at least for a while, the one that you're going to experiment with and play with. After this ideation process, the second part, execution, starts. You will think how to translate this meaning into actual artifacts. What kind of artifacts it could be? It doesn't have to be a commercial ad. It could be your preparation for a job interview, how you describe yourself. It could be a post on your social media, featured one, where you give viewers an idea of who you are. It could be a short video that you start posting on your YouTube channel.
Wow.
So you decide on the format, the vehicle for your idea, for your self-presentation. Then you decide on the elements that have to be there. Are there going to be slides, symbols? It's going to be an infographic or words. In your words, what kind of visual objects you're going to mention? What kind of metaphors you're going to evoke? If you cannot paint or shoot a video, even with your words, you can evoke metaphors. You're not just listing your experience, showing with stories and anecdotes what you stand for. So you list all these elements that you want to be in your self-presentation, and then you sequence them. You remember that in Coca-Cola, in the ad, they did not introduce Coca-Cola in the first shot, and there is a reason for that. They wanted you to start feeling feelings first. Or it could be done another way. They could introduce the bottle first, and it's also okay. There is no just one right choice, but you need to be conscious about it, how you sequence elements in your story. That's it, and then the rest will depend on the meanings that you choose and the format that you choose. And now you are practically ready.
Wow.
If you like this video, there are 3 levels of commitment that I invite you to take. 3 levels, from the easiest beginner one to the advanced for super committed people. The first one, please subscribe to the channel, not to miss later videos on this topic and others even more exciting. The second one, share with a person who you know, or a group of people, chat, community, who you know will benefit from getting exposure to these ideas. Finally, the third level of commitment for the bravest ones is to comment and tell me what ads you want me to dissect further, what your brand, service, product is about, and what kind of initial associations and images my video evoked in your mind, and what you want to experiment with. Let's start with the ad. Tell me what ad to dissect next. Enjoy whatever stage you are at right now, because it's all about the journey. Your English for Impact.